Exactly, it happens all the time. And it's not just people saying it to you. It is institutionally accepted. Because let's talk about some of the insane double standards and institutionalized Islamophobia and anti-Arab racism that's happening over at some of these social media platforms. Exhibit A. Twitch has now made criticizing Zionism or using the term Zionist a part of their hateful conduct policy. This is insane. Zionism is an ideology. Like, literally, it is an ideology in the same way that being a conservative or a socialist or a libertarian or a liberal is an ideology. Twitch announced that they are categorizing the term Zionist as a potential slur as a part of their hateful conduct. You know what's so amazing about that? They're making an ideology a slur if you criticize it, but they allow Islamophobia like it ain't no thing on their platform. Literally. This is what I mean when I talk about the insanity of the victimhood that they're obsessed with, that Zionists are obsessed with, is that they constantly victimize themselves while bullying other people. They constantly cry about racism while being Islamophobic and racist. Like, it's amazing. Using the term Zionist to attack or demean another individual or group people based on their background or religious belief is against our rules. Excuse me, Twitch. Zionism is not a religious belief. Does anyone see how unironically anti-Semitic it is to be using Zionist and Judaism interchangeably? As this guy pointed out, who is Jewish, by flagging Zionist as a slur, Twitch conflates Zionism with the Jewish identity, erasing dissent and diversity among Jews. This stifles criticism of a political ideology during a time in which an ethnic cleansing is being carried out in Zionism's name. Literally. So you're actually adding to anti-Semitism unironically by conflating Zionism with Judaism and erasing all the anti-Zionist Jews. Are they going to ban any criticism or make it hateful conduct, any criticism of conservatism or liberalism? Because that is literally what this is. And this applies to religion too. You can't give special privileges to Judaism and then allow people on your platform every single day, all day, to criticize Christianity and Islam, to demean or attack another individual or group of people on the basis of their background or religious beliefs. Okay, so I guess you guys are going to need to purge a lot of people who shit on Christianity every day. Go look across Twitch's channels and see all the people that shit on Christianity and Islam every single day and see if they're enforcing this equally. Go through Twitch's channels and see all the creators that shit all over different ideologies, including socialism and communism and libertarianism and conservatism. And then you should ask Twitch, why does the ideology of Zionism get special privileges over other ideologies? Zionism didn't even exist 200 years ago or 150 years ago. It was literally started in the late 1800s, okay? So, like, trying to make this happen is not only anti-Semitic, because not only are you conflating Zionism with Judaism, but what you're saying is that the genocide that's happening in Gaza and the Zionist project that's being carried out by the Israeli regime committing genocide and ethnic cleansing is somehow inherently Jewish and thus needs to be protected. Insanity. Also, let's not pretend that Twitch doesn't have an Islamophobia problem already, okay? Because here they were banning a bunch of their own streamers who were Muslim because they were criticizing Zionism. They banned them. Again, happens all the time. The cry bullies come out, and then the people that they're victimizing, the actual victims, get punished for the bullies bullying. So I want you to understand the actual institutionalized Islamophobia at places like Twitch, and we're going to get to YouTube in a second, because Twitch banned a bunch of Muslim creators for criticizing Zionism and calling them hateful. And yet, when Asmongold came on here and literally said he did not care about Palestinians being slaughtered because they had an inferior culture, which is literally genocidal racism, he got a little slap on the wrist and suspended for a week. Hey, you know what I didn't see? I didn't see Twitch making that kind of Islamophobia hateful conduct on their platform. Weird. And at the time I said that Asmongold or anybody else should not have been banned or should not have been kicked off the platform because I'm actually principled when it comes to my beliefs in the First Amendment, unlike you guys. Not even criticism of it. But then you guys want to add a political ideology that you happen to agree with as a part of your hateful conduct to stop people from criticizing an ideological movement and from calling out the genocide that this government is carrying out. And this is all happening against the backdrop of Ethan Klein and Destiny trying to get Hassan Piker kicked off of Twitch. Why don't you just say you hate Arabs? Why don't you just come out and actually say that? It's shorter. Which, speaking of that, here's Destiny actually on YouTube, and now we're gonna move to YouTube, literally saying that.
Strategically place myself in areas where you can't hurt me. You know?
Sounds like hiding to me. Listen, as a Jew, I understand hiding quite well. It's one of our specialties.
Oh, that's why you live in Brooklyn instead of Israel or whatever, huh?
What is that supposed to mean?
You're hiding from your true calling to save your country by being an American Jew.
My country?
A diasporoid. Yes.
Don't start with that. I don't like that. Anyway, but we don't have to talk about that crap. What do you say? First of all, what do you think Brooklyn is? I'm literally in the Jewish state right now.
Do you think that? Oh, okay. You should tell Hamas so they stop attacking the wrong place. Listen, we'll do an in-person show. Okay, it'll be...
What does that even mean? Was that an attempt at a joke? Jeez Louise, I didn't even know it was this. Are you like in Israel? You're an Israel guy.
No, I'm in Miami Beach. This is like the second
You're not Jewish, but
place.
you're an Israel guy?
I'm a neocon, right? Isn't that what we're supposed to be?
I don't know anything, brother. I don't know anything about streams. I don't even know I'm on the stream right now.
Okay, it's not really so much I'm like an Israel guy. I just like really hate Arabs, and that's like the easiest way to kind of show it. So
was that another joke? Oy vey. Save that for the stage. Don't forget to tip your bartenders, huh?
You see how when the guy was like, you're joking, right? It was like crickets. And then he moved on and changed the subject. Amazing. He literally just said he hated Arabs and then admitted that it's not so much that he loves the Israeli regime, he just hates the Arabs. And actually him saying that is really admitting the position of a lot of evangelical Christian lunatics who support the Israeli regime and a lot of right-wingers. It's not that they actually like the Israeli regime, they just hate Arab people. That's literally it. Because if you actually talk to a lot of evangelicals who are really pro-Israeli regime, or a lot of right-wingers, they're actually anti-Semitic. Like, they don't care about Jewish people. They care about protecting the state because of biblical prophecies and, military shit. That's a long story in a whole other video. But you also notice that he also said something anti-Semitic to him by saying that he should be defending his people in his homeland when the guy is from fucking Brooklyn. Like, it's actually anti-Semitic to just assume that somebody is Jewish, that means that they must be pro-Israeli regime. But that is not even the point, okay? The point is, he said that on a stream on YouTube, and that is one of tons of insane things that he said. Tons of racist things that he said. And I still would not call for him to be demonetized or kicked off the platform. The point I'm making is the double standard here. YouTube will allow that kind of stuff to go. YouTube will allow Ethan Klein to get on here, like I talked about in my previous video, and say insane racist anti-Arab Islamophobic shit about Hassan on a daily basis, and cheer terrorist leaders in the IOF and in the Israeli government. But yet, if people are on YouTube and they talk about Palestine, if they're pro-Palestine, if they talk about Gaza, YouTube will either give them strikes or they'll demonetize their accounts. And don't say it's not happening, because I can name 3 examples just off the top of my head. The creator, Richard Medhurst, who's been on YouTube for a while, got demonetized by them. The Grayzone, which is a news outlet. It's literally a news outlet, and they demonetized them. And recently, the creator Rathbone got demonetized from YouTube because he was streaming and talking about the political bureau of Hamas and discussing one of the leader's speeches in his stream. No. This is ridiculous, okay? So he got demonetized for that. And when I say demonetized in this context I've been talking about it in, it's permanently. All of the creators that I mentioned were permanently demonetized for criticizing the Israeli regime and the genocide, for talking about Gaza, and for having commentary on one of the Hamas leader's speeches, which is amazing considering they allow the IOF to be on there. The IOF has a full-ass monetized channel on YouTube where all they do is hateful shit toward Palestinians and propaganda. They should not be doing this to those creators, but since they are, all of you should start clipping every single Islamophobic thing, any anti-Arab thing, any political ideology, any religion, clip it all and start sending it to them. Because this double standard and special privileges is absurd. This is literally insane. Okay? There is no other way to explain these types of special privileges that creators like Destiny or Ethan or Ben Shapiro or Sam Harris will get when they say openly Islamophobic and racist shit about Arabs, but then a person who creates content on YouTube that just talks about, reports on what is going on in Gaza like the Grayzone was. There is no other way to explain these decisions besides institutionalized Islamophobia and anti-Arab racism. Because explain this.
Honestly, I'm pro-genocide. It sounds really shit, but I think that Israel should just drop its borders about where it is now, and basically Palestinians can go live in another place. That's really shit. That's about where I'm at.
You just think the Palestinians should just pack up and Native American the fuck out of there?
Apparently just saying that you're pro-genocide and you want the Israeli regime to take all of Palestinian land is totally cool. And this is what makes Destiny's attacks on Hassan trying to get him deplatformed even more insane. Like, bro, you shouldn't be trying to deplatform people when this is the kind of shit that you say on the regular. You think he would care about protecting people's speech. But these people are never principled. They never hold any principled beliefs about speech. I do, so I don't think any of these people should be demonetized or deplatformed. But I also think that these social media companies need to stop having all these double standards because it's giving Islamophobia. It's giving racism. And I know that there's going to be fans of Destiny or Asmongold that say, like, they didn't mean it. They're just being edgelord. Really? Because weren't you guys the same people that was trying to get Vosh kicked off the platform for his edgelord cracker jokes? Because tell me why it is totally acceptable for all of these people to get on here and say the most dehumanizing, racist, Islamophobic, vicious, genocidal things about Arabs and the Palestinians and Muslims. But then when Richard Medhurst or the Grayzone or Rathbone make content where they are calling out the genocide in Gaza, calling out the brutal Israeli regime, a state, a government, they're demonetized. They get demonetized for hateful conduct by YouTube. They get demonetized so fucking ironically by saying that they're promoting terrorism or promoting hateful ideology. That is literally inverted from the truth. Actually inverted from the truth. If they're talking about Hamas or their leaders, that is news. Why are you saying that that's hateful conduct or spreading hate when they're covering the news? All of them do social and political commentary. And yet, when people do actual terrorism promotion and hate promotion against Arabs and the Palestinians, that's no problem. The people that are getting penalized are the ones that are actually calling out the terrorism. People like Rathbone and the fucking Grayzone and Richard Medhurst are people, and those are just the three most recent that I could think of, okay? There's been tons of people this has happened to. And so the inverted insanity of this, that they make content around political issues and around current events and will actually talk about the news and call out the terrorism and the genocidal actions of the Israeli regime and the Zionist project, and they get demonetized for hateful conduct or promoting hateful ideologies, while the people that are actually literally carrying out the terrorism, the genocide, and the hateful ideologies just get elevated. Nothing. Think about it. It's actually insane. And if you want to know why, it's because anti-Arab racism and Islamophobia are institutionalized in our culture and in our country. That's why. That's why YouTube is doing this. That's why Twitch is doing this. Because it is normalized, acceptable, and institutionalized to be incredibly Islamophobic and racist toward Arab people. Full stop. And it's disgusting. And YouTube should be called out for it. And so should Twitch and any other social media company that will penalize people on their platforms for speaking out against Islamophobia and the genocide happening in Palestine and criticize the Israeli regime and rewards and protects the people cheering on the slaughter of children. It's actually disgusting. I'm not going to shut up about this, and neither should you. Every single one of you should be tagging Twitch. I didn't even see anybody tagging Twitch yesterday. You should be tagging them. You think that the people that are defending the people being racist and Islamophobic don't tag them? And this is happening, by the way, at a time where hate crimes are rising in the United States against Arab people and across the entire West. So if you're already not, go follow Stop Arab Hate on Twitter. They need a lot more followers. People actually need to be fighting back against this, especially if you are not Arab. If you are not Muslim, if you are not from the Middle East, if you look like me, you should be fighting against this and standing up against this insanity, this gaslighting, and this actual hate. The genocide in Gaza that has been live streamed for over a year is one of the major events that have happened in our lifetime. So these social media companies should not be crushing dissent. What these social media platforms are doing by crushing dissent, demonetizing people, kicking them off the platform, silencing them, censoring them, is basically like censoring people during South African apartheid, or as Michael Rappaport would say, apartheid. And they're not just silencing and crushing dissent, they are actively aiding and abetting the Israeli regime and Zionism. This would be like silencing the Allies during World War II. So stand up against it. The Palestinian people are the most marginalized and vulnerable population in the world right now. And we don't need incredibly powerful social media companies advocating for the Palestinians and telling the truth that much harder.